During World War I, a party of foreign ideals founded in Canada, influenced by American republicanism and European socialism, the Progressive Party showed up out of nowhere. The party was formed of disenfranchised liberals, disenfranchised farmers, and social radicals. The party attracted a broad appeal by stating that their members first represented their constituents and second represented their party. This meant that if their vote conflicts with the interests of the party, they wouldn't get kicked out. The main unifying factor of the party was free trade. The Liberals under Wilfrid Laurier were ardently anti-free trade and maintained a Liberal Party tradition of maintaining an anti-American trade barrier. The Conservatives, on the other hand, were simply too right-wing for them. However, out west, there was no route to trade goods west to east, only north to south. For this reason, the Progressives started off in Saskatchewan and Manitoba before entering Ontario. The Progressives had convinced the United Farmers of Alberta to sign up as Progressives and allowed them to maintain their party organization and identity while fighting for free trade as Progressives. Other farmer organizations like the Manitoba Grain Grower Association and the United Farmers of Ontario would also join up with the Progressives. Farmers were becoming a very vocal political class. The United Farmers of Ontario would shockingly win a provincial election in 1919. Today, this wouldn't even be shocking. Farmer protests are just really common. The igniting factor of the movement entering federal politics was when Robert Borden paid no attention to farmers in his budget. Thomas Creer would rise as leader of the party that promised to not whip any of its party members. Creer was first elected as a member of Parliament with the Manitoba Grain Growers Association. Creer had signed up with Robert Borden's anti-war union government for a showing of strength. But after Borden started a policy on high tariffs against America, Creer resigned. As leader of the Progressives, not many thought that they would have a chance of winning. But in a landslide, the Progressives swiped all of the western seats and had taken a quarter of all seats in the government in 1921. They had become the official opposition, surpassing even the Conservatives. But a party without policy could not survive. Creer tried to institute vote whipping, and this led to much of the party leaving the Progressives and representing their base organizations. The party had folded and lost their status as an official opposition. Creer resigned as leader of the party to be replaced by Robert Fork. Fork was not left with much of a party. It was a loose coalition of ex-liberals on the right and the Ginger Group on the left. The Ginger Group was a large group of MPs who had opposed Borden's conscription plan. They were now a group looking for free trade with America and joined the Progressives to do it. This ragtag group of MPs was struggling to stay around. The nail in the coffin came in 1925 election. Fork agreed only to campaign in Manitoba and Saskatchewan. This led to a greatly reduced party, and the Conservatives now had the largest party. Fork reached across to Mackenzie King and offered to form a coalition government with him. This meant he had to choose people to be ministers, and it meant that he would have to whip his party into voting with the government. This was seemingly impossible. Mackenzie King had been implicated in a corruption scandal. Kind of ironic, really. Corruption scandal breaks for the Liberals, and it destroys the Progressives. Members fully revert to their local organizations while also forming new ones. The most important of these is the Liberal Progressives. The remaining Progressives want to align themselves with the Liberals, and 5 years later would formally join the Liberals. Another group would go to the United Farmers of Alberta, who would score 12 federal candidates in the 1926 election. Today, it exists as a chain of family farm supply stores. The final aberration of the party that came into existence was the one that would survive, the Cooperative Commonwealth Federation, which would eventually become the New Democratic Party. The Conservatives, perhaps, were the ones to least benefit from the collapse of the Progressives. From them, they would only gain their name. Starting in 1930, provincial Conservative governments would adopt the name Progressive Conservative. In 1945, the Federal Conservatives would also officially rebrand themselves the Progressive Conservative Government, after 2 decades of William Lyon Mackenzie rule.